Hi, welcome back to those of you who've been before, and welcome to anybody who is new. Don't think anybody's there yet. If you are, hello again. My name is Vicky, and today we're going to be doing a Yin Yang yoga session. And Yin Yang yoga, for those of you who don't know, basically is a combination of two slightly different types of yoga. One is a little bit more dynamic and the more flowing, and the other is more slow, passive, long-held poses. So it's a combination of the two in just a short class, 30 to 40 minutes long. And the idea being that we are bringing balance to our practice, bringing balance to ourselves. The yin and the yang, the black and the white, the day and the night, the opposites together to form a whole. So that's the idea. Today our practice is going to be a grounding practice. So what I mean by that, grounding is actually a little bit of a confusing word. It's used in a number of different ways. So as always, take from it what you will. By grounding, what I mean is, first of all, it's going to be on the ground. So everything is going to be touching the floor in some way or another, which of course you always do, otherwise you'd be flying. But we're going to have a lot of contact with the floor today. And grounding can be considered in a number of different ways, I've realised by researching. So for example, psychologically in the world of mental health, if that's the right way to say it, then it's considered something that can help you to move away from negative emotions, with some similarities to mindfulness, if I understand correctly, in that you're bringing yourself into the present moment and moving yourself away from the past, the future anxieties and worries. In a very simplistic sense, that's my understanding of it. In a physical sense, of course, we are touching the ground, our connection to the environment, the world around us, in that nothing is independent, we are all connected. So bringing back that idea, our connection to the environment. And also, although it's not massively researched, there is science. What grounding science, I think, is one, and there's another specific type of physics where there have been studies into the electrons that are within the ground, and by us touching the ground, ultimately, then we are taking in that electric current, I suppose. We're taking in that electricity, and that is having an effect on our bodies and on our minds. So that's another idea of grounding. So that's it for my introduction. So let's get going. We're going to start with a breathing exercise, which is also very helpful in all respects for grounding you, bringing you into the present, bringing you into your body and where it is on the ground. So I'm going to go sideways. Might be an idea if you want to as well. I've just put something underneath my knees so that they're not digging into the ground. So we're going to start with a breathing exercise. So just close your eyes. And get into a comfortable seated position. Now I would say for this you can either kneel or sit cross-legged. Either one of those is fine. Just straightening the back, opening the chest a little, relaxing the shoulders. And starting by feeling your connection with the ground, noticing what's touching the ground. Noticing how that feels, what sensations you can feel. Is your mat, if you're using one, is it rough? Is it smooth? Is it warm? Is it cool? Any other sensations? Can you feel the weight of the body against the floor? So we'll start with this breathing, and it's going to be very much from the abdomen. So just start to deepen your breath. And as you're deepening your breath on the in-breath, then just notice as the air goes in the nose, down through the body into the belly, and how the belly finally expands. Then relax that area, relax the abdomen, relax the pelvic muscles. And then as you breathe out, just contract the belly slightly and kind of slightly push the air out. So breathing in, noticing it going in through the nose, down into the belly, relaxing that area, and then contracting the area slightly and just pushing out. Just a little bit, but just a little bit of force at the start of the out breath. So breathe in again. Contracting a little, and just a little bit of force at the beginning of the out breath. Just pushing, expelling the air out a bit. Breathe in. Relax the abdomen, now contract to push out, and breathe out. Just continue doing that a couple of times by yourself, just practicing, noticing the air going in through the nose as it travels down the body into the belly. Relax belly, relax pelvic muscles. And then just contracting them a bit, just breathing out, and that first bit just a little bit more. Pushing the air just at the start of the out breath. Nothing major, just a bit, just a bit. So it's just a little bit more forceful at the beginning of the out breath, slightly. And keeping that breath, I want you just to go onto hands and knees, tuck the toes under, and then to start with, this is the first yin pose. Sit up so that you've got a stretch on the soles and the backs of the toes. Now, if you're feeling that that's too much pressure on the fronts of the toes, for example, then what you can do is you can go forward a bit. So you can go down onto the hands so that there's less weight, or even down onto the elbows if you want. So you're playing with the weight here. You're finding a place where you're okay to stay in with that stretch in the feet, but then it's okay to stay in for around 3 minutes or so. So just play with the weight there. Find what's best for you. And then when you've found it, so for me actually it's just down on the elbows, that's okay for me. Close your eyes, and as I said, we're going to stay here for 3 minutes, stretching the backs of the feet and the toes. That connection of the feet to the floor, of course, related to our grounding. Allowing the body to absorb those electrons. And then whatever position you're in, bring back that breath that we were doing a minute ago. And as you follow the breath, as you breathe in through the nose, down the torso, into the belly. And as you breathe out, you can also see if you can do the same, following the air as it goes out again. Don't contract the abdomen or the pelvic muscles too much. Just contract them a bit, just so that first part of the out breath is just a little bit more forceful than the rest of the out breath. And if you find after a while that you've lost the stretch, or that the stretch has got a bit too intense, then again, play with the body weight. If you want more stretch, then obviously put more weight on the feet, so you might want to go further back. And if you want less, then go further forward. Yeah, you can even walk more into kind of a hands and knees position. Just adjust it a little bit if you need to. Nothing major. With yin, we want to try and stay still as much as we can. So just adjust it a little bit if you need to. And then bring that breath back. Two more breaths. Okay, so let's gently go onto the hands and knees. So we're taking the pressure off the toes here. Lift the feet up. Gently just put the tips of the toes, the tops of the toes on the floor, no pressure on them yet. Keeping them still, keeping them there still for a moment. And then when you feel ready, you can just put the toes down. And you can sit back into child's pose, however you want. Your arms in front, by the sides, doesn't matter. This is just a rebound. This is just noticing the effects on the feet. Something else we're doing here by stimulating the feet is that many of the meridians or channels of energy that are talked about in traditional Chinese medicines, that many of the, all of the 12 major meridians either start or end in the feet, so we're also stimulating that energy within ourselves by stimulating the feet, the toes, the ankles. So when you feel any sensations pass, then just come back up. And what we're going to do is we're also going to stretch the ankles. So we're going to do this separately. So just put the left hand on the floor. I think you can see me, yeah? And then just hold on to the right knee. And then just take it up to a point where you can feel a good stretch on the front of the ankle. But again, it's okay to stay in for 2 minutes. Yeah, so you may also be feeling a stretch on the fronts of the toes. So obviously we are reversing the pose that we were doing before. This time we're stretching the front of the ankles and the front of the toes. Really paying attention to the feet, the ankles. Bringing back that breath. Closing the eyes if that's comfortable. Notice if you're tensing anything in the body, and if you are, then send your out breath to that area, see if you can soften it. This is the yin part of the class, just to let you know that. That's why we're staying in these poses for a little bit longer. Try not to use too much muscular effort. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get deeper than that. We're trying to get into the connective tissue. And if the stress is going to the muscle, it's much harder to get into the connective tissue. So that's why we try to relax the muscle as much as we can in Yin. It's passive, it's not active. Not like the Yang, which we'll be starting soon. Okay, so we're going to go to the other side, so just let that knee drop. And we'll go directly to the other side. So this time, right hand on the floor. Take hold of the left knee. Bring it up. Now, of course, you can put the torso wherever you want. You can go backwards, you can go slightly to the side. You just find where you want the stretch in the ankle, which part of the ankle. You'll find, of course, by moving around a bit, it changes to different places. So actually, I'm going to go to the side a bit here because I want to feel it a bit more on the outside of the ankle. And again, we'll stay here for just under 2 minutes. Bring the breath back. Following the breath to the belly. Relaxing that area. Then contracting. Breathing out and following the breath back out again through the nose. Sending the breath to anywhere that feels tense, that feels tight. Try to keep those muscles relaxed, try to keep it passive. Adjusting slightly if you need to at any point, if there's too much stretch or if you lose it, but just very small movements. Very small movements to avoid using those muscles too much. So again, let's bring that knee down, go to the center, and just staying here for a few moments just to feel, just notice how the ankles feel, the fronts of the toes perhaps. You feel any movement down there, temperature change, prickling. Anything at all. So I want you to try and use, we'll move into the Yang part, which is more flowing, but again, all on the floor. Try to use that breath, if you can, with the movements. So let's start. So just breathe out completely. So as you breathe in, then I just want you to come down to the floor, arching the spine. As you breathe out, then just come back. You can hold on to the knees. This can be kneeling or cross-legged. So breathe in, coming down, arch a little bit, coming up, and then just dropping back, curving the spine a bit as you breathe out. And again, coming down, arching, coming up to the center, and then just dropping back again. One more time, coming down, arching the back a bit, straightening, and then dropping back, curving the spine a bit as you breathe out. Now let's bring the hands in. So this time, hands to the ground as you arch the spine, stretch the arms up, and then bring the elbows down as you breathe out and go back. Arms just going against the floor and then stretching up and then coming down by your sides, elbows down by your sides as you breathe out. Stroking the floor, breathing in, arms stretching up, and then bring the elbows down as you breathe out. One more time, going down, hands on the floor, coming up, and as you breathe out and go back, then the elbows are coming down. Keep that breath, and then bring the knees round, put the feet on the floor, bent knees, feet on the floor. Same thing. Breathe in, hands go on the floor, stretching up. As you breathe out, elbows come to the sides and you go back. Breathe in, hands to the floor, stretch up, elbows coming down. Feel that belly working. Breathe in, hands go down, stretching up. Arms, elbows come to the sides, curve the spine a bit, go down as far as you need to. Breathe in, stretching up. Elbows coming down to the sides, bring the back. One more, breathe in, hands to the floor, stretching up. And as you breathe out, then bring the elbows down and you go back. Breathe in, this time just bring the hands a bit forward, bring the torso up a bit. Breathe out, come back a little bit more. Breathe in, you can feel the belly working here, go up. Breathe out, just go back a little bit more. Breathe in, going up. Breathe out, going back a bit more. One more time, breathe in, then coming up. Breathe out, then just going back a bit more. Okay, so then we're going to move, just cross the legs if they're not crossed. And then just roll over onto hands and knees. Put something underneath your knees like I have if they're a bit sensitive or a bit bony, should I say. Hands on the floor, hands and knees. So we're just going to do a couple of cat-cows first. So breathe in, arch the spine. Breathe out, curve the spine, push into the knees, push into the hands. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, curve, push into the hands, the knees, tops of the feet. Breathe in, arch. Really arch that spine. Bring that lower back to the floor. And breathe out, curve the spine. Move a little bit if you want to. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, curve. Okay, so keep doing cat-cow, but we'll change it a little bit. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, curve, and down into child's pose, arms stretched out. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, hips go back, curve the spine, child's pose, arms out, stretch. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, child's pose. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, child's pose. Okay, then come back up to center. So that was the spine we were focusing on there. This time we're going to focus on this joint, the shoulder joint. So I'll do it on this side actually. So as you breathe, just turn the back of the hand, put it on the floor. So as you breathe in again, stroke the back of the hand against the floor. And as you breathe out, the arm goes back and round and the hips go down as well. So you're making a really big circle. Back of the hand goes on the floor, scrapes against the floor, arm goes up, breathe out, arm goes back, big circle, hips go down. Breathe in, hand against the floor. So we're doing really big circles here. Arm goes back, big circle, hips go down. And one more time. Hand goes along the floor, goes at the front, goes up, goes round, hips go down. And then hand scrapes along the floor, back to the center. Place the left hand on the floor. Let's move to the right. Try to do it with your breath. So breathe in, going forward, up. Breathe out, go back. Breathe in, going up. Breathe out, go back. Now move the body as much as you want to, yeah? We want to move the arm in that joint. Circle, rotate the arm. But also the body can go with it. It doesn't need to be static. Allow the hips, allow the body to move in whatever way it wants to. And then coming back to the center. So next we're going to do the legs. Now with this, keep the legs strong to protect the back, particularly the lower back. And we can do this, I'll show you as we're going along. So as you breathe in, the right leg goes up, okay? Push the heel up so that you've got strength in that leg. As you breathe out, I want you to bend the elbows a bit. Bring the knee in, bring it towards the nose, and then on the last bit, straighten the arms and look down so you've got a bit of a curve in the spine, stretching the back. Breathe in, put the leg back, push that heel up, top of the head goes forward. Breathe out, bend the elbows a bit, and then the last bit, straighten the arms so that you've got a bit of a curve. Breathe in, leg goes back, heel up. Breathe out, knee comes forward. Breathe in, leg goes back, heel up, strong leg. Breathe out, bringing the knee forward. One more time, breathe in, the leg goes back. Breathe out, this time bring the the foot between the hands. So we're looking for a lunge here. So spend a bit of time finding the right position. We want to feel a stretch on the hip flexor of the back leg. And we want to make sure that the front knee is okay. So generally, we want the knee to be above the ankle, approximately, so we haven't got pressure on the knee. And if you want to feel more stretch in the hip flexor on the back, then move that back leg a bit further back. If you want less, obviously bring it a bit further forwards. Play with that so that you're feeling it. And when you feel it, when you've got the stretch in the back leg and you feel like the knee is okay, it's stable, then I want you just to bring the arms up. Now, as you breathe out, bring the elbows down and look up. Breathe in, stretch up again. Breathe out, bring the elbows down so the shoulder blades are going together and you're going a bit deeper, giving a bit more stretch on that back hip flexor. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, come down, stretch on that back hip flexor, shoulder blades going together, working the shoulders. One more time, breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, bring the shoulder blades together, the elbows go down. One more time, breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, bring the hands down in front of the feet. Then we're going to do that similar movement again. Turn the palms over, breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, bring both arms back in a circle. Breathe in, hands on the floor, palms on the floor. Big circles, but with both hands this time, keeping the legs strong to protect the lower back. Breathe in, palms on the floor, big circles coming to the front, going up. Going back, don't stretch back too far. Breathe in, big circles, backward circles, keeping the legs strong, arms go back. And then hands to the floor. And then push up onto the back toe and bring the front foot towards the back foot so that you're in a down dog position. And we'll just stay here for a minute, bringing the hips back and up so that you can feel a stretch in the backs of the legs. Pushing into the hands are strong. Fingers are either pointing to the front or they can be pointing to the sides depending on what is more comfortable for your shoulders. You need to be careful not to put too much pressure in your shoulders in down dog. Bring the shoulder blades together, strong arms, strong legs. And then we're going to go back down onto the knees and we're going to do the other side. Not so much of a flow this one actually, to be honest, usually is, but not so much today. So breathe in, arch the spine. Breathe out, curve the spine. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, curve. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, curve. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, curve and child's pose, arms stretched out. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, child's pose. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, child's pose. Sorry, I've sped it up a little bit. Breathe in, arch. Breathe out, child's pose. Back to hands and knees. Did I start with the left or with the right last time? Let's start with the right this time. So, turn the palm over and the same thing. Scrape the palm on the ground coming forward. Arm goes up, arm goes back. Big circles, hips going down. Back of the palm on the floor, moving, making those big circles with the breath, moving the body as necessary. We're going to do 2 more. Big circles, big backward circles going back, moving that shoulder joint, and 1 more. And then back to the center, and then we'll do the left side. Okay, so forward and back. Big circles, backward circles, let the body move as it wants to, as long as we're rotating in that shoulder joint, lubricating that shoulder joint. 4 in total. Move the head as you want to. And after the 4th, then go back to the center. And this time we're going to do the left leg. So as you breathe in, leg goes back, push the heel up, strong leg. As you breathe out, bend the elbows, bring the knee in, the last bit, straighten the arms, curve the spine. Breathe in, leg goes back, push the heel up, top of the head forward, breathe out. Knee towards nose, curve the spine. Breathe in, leg goes back. Breathe out, curve, last bit, straighten the arms, 1 more time. Breathe in, leg goes back. Breathe out. 1 more time, put the leg up. And this time as you breathe out, bring it between the hands. And again, adjust the body. Adjust the back leg so that you're feeling a stretch on the hip flexor. A good stretch, so move the foot away or closer to you, depending on how much stretch you want. Play with that front foot so the knee is above the ankle. And on the next in-breath, keeping the legs strong and stretch up. And then as you breathe out, bring the elbows down, shoulder blades together. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, sink down, sinking deeper into that back leg as well. Breathe in, stretch up. Keep the legs strong. Breathe out, bring the elbows down, shoulder blades together. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, elbows down, sink further into that back leg. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, bring the hands down. Breathe in, backs of the palms on the floor, big circles, coming up, legs strong, backward circles again. And drop down, big circles, stretching up, keeping the legs strong, be careful of the lower back. Breathe in. One more time. Breathe in, back circles. Breathe out, bring the arms on either side of the front foot. Tuck the back toe under. And then bring that foot to join the other foot. Down dog. Play with that down dog a bit if you want to. Pedal the feet. And then move into stillness. Stretching the backs of the legs. Lengthening the back. Pushing into the hands. Bringing the shoulder blades together. And then when you're ready, go down onto your knees. And then just move into child's pose. In whatever kind of child's pose works for you. And just allow yourself to settle. Allow your breath to settle. Again, noticing your connection with the earth, with the ground, noticing what's touching the ground. And then when the breath has calmed a little bit, and you can just make your way into Shavasana. So just lying comfortably on the floor. Connecting the whole body to the floor, or at least a lot of the back part. And once more, bring your attention to where those connections are. The heels, the calves. If any parts of the thigh are touching the floor. The bum. Which parts of the back. The head. And which parts of the back of the arms are touching and which parts are not. Just bring your attention to that. And I would suggest staying in Shavasana for at least a few minutes. And if any of you meditate or do mindfulness meditation, for example, then after a yoga practice, that's actually a really, really great time to do it because your body is prepared and your mind is more settled. But otherwise, please just wait for a few minutes in Shavasana and then move on to the next part of your day. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and I hope to see you at my Yin class on Friday, 5:30 UK time. I won't have any classes next week, just to let you know, because I will be away and it will be a bit difficult for me to do the classes. But I will, for sure, be back the following week on Wednesday and on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for coming.